Hi, it's Richard Moore from Digital for Education, and we're down here at Ermine Primary Academy with Rob Boothroyd. He's the CEO of the Academy of Lincoln Trust. And we're just going to talk to Rob a little bit to give us some insight into the transition from ordinary school into a trust and an academy trust, which two schools that Rob oversees has undergone in the past 5-6 years. Okay, good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Richard. I'm Rob Boothroyd. As you said, I'm a CEO of the Academy of Lincoln Trust. I've been 43 years in education, and I've been a classroom teacher right through to head teacher of 2 schools. And it's my pleasure at the moment to be CEO of the Academy of Lincoln Trust.
So 43 years, you must have seen a lot of changes in education, haven't you?
Massive changes. If you think about it, Richard, I started in 1974. When the comprehensive education had just come into play, really, and now we're right through to schools having more or less their own independence through trusts like our own, and by becoming academies.
Mm-hmm. And so just run through the transition that the schools that you oversee have gone through, because were you head over at...
Yes, initially I was head at Yarborough.
Mm-hmm.
I became head in 2004. We became an academy in 2011. We were one of the first academies. We were invited to be an academy. As a good to outstanding school, we were Academy of Converter, as they termed it in those days. And at that stage we decided it would be good to look at the development of education in our part of Lincoln. We decided that we'd like to change our name. This was the start of a new era and a new development where we took complete control of everything that we did within the education of Lincoln Castle Academy. In 2012, we approached Ermine Primary, our main primary feeder school, to see if they'd like to join us in a multi-academy trust, and after some consideration looking at other academy trusts, they decided that the Academy of Lincoln Trust was the best way forward for them. And since then everything has moved forward at a pace, 2 schools working strongly together for the best education for the children and students of those schools.
And it's around 1,600 staff and pupils, we think, across the 2 schools, is there?
That's correct, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, you've got a large, comprehensive, probably one of the largest primary schools in Lincolnshire as well. Mm-hmm. Working as an all-through school, you've probably maybe got 1,300 pupils, plus 300 to 400 staff that work both in the teaching and the support roles to make the best education possible for our youngsters.
Mm-hmm. So you'd see they can do the full journey right the way through from reception all the way through to 16, or do they do 18?
Right 18? The way through to 18.
A levels.
Going on to A levels.
Mm-hmm.
And vocational education, so that they have the opportunities to enter the world of work, university and further education with the best education behind them.
So how does the structure of an academy trust differ from being an independent school, as they used to be?
We have a board of directors. We're very much seen in government eyes as a business, a charitable business, but a business nonetheless. We're actually registered as a business in London, and it means that we have the CEO, myself, the 2 head teachers, and the senior leadership teams of both the schools, working very closely with a board of directors and a local governing body as well.
Mm-hmm. So how does the senior leadership team you talk about, are they responsible for the day-to-day running of the academy?
Yeah, they ensure, they're the people that are paid to do the job, to ensure that the best education is given to the young people in both of those schools, and they do it very well indeed, with great teams of staff below them.
So you're a big advocate of the academy system. Obviously, being a headmaster as you were of an independent, was that a local governmentally funded school?
In the past, I've worked for the local government. I worked for Nottinghamshire County Council, Nottinghamshire City Council, Lincolnshire County Council, And in 2011, although we were a foundation at the school at that time, we still came under the control of Lincoln County Council. We decided that it would be best for ourselves and the parents and the students of the school to move towards to be academy. It allowed us extra funding, extra freedoms, and the ability to steer our school and now our schools in the direction that we wanted them to go in.
And you touched on funding then. How does funding differ now? It comes through the Department for Education. Is it an all grant based?
It is all grant based, several different grants. It's worth going onto the school's website to look at those grants and how we spend them. We're talking about millions of pounds being put into the two schools. That budget we have complete control of. It's audited on a regular basis, both internally and externally, but it allows us to look at the staffing levels we want, the resourcing levels we want, and put the best possible forms of education in each and every classroom.
And explain how the Educational Funding Authority oversee that as well, because they're quite pivotal in this, I think.
They are very pivotal. They're the people who can keep complete control over the funding that goes into academies. We have to have a full audit each year. They have legal regulations that we have to adhere by, and we do very
Including
closely.
On the website, you have to display your accounts.
We do have to display our accounts, and again go and see how those accounts are used. And to put it in total context, I am the accounting officer for the trust, and that means that I am accountable to the House of Parliament for the spending within the two schools.
So it's, I suppose, the importance of all this regulation is complete transparency about how the academies run, is it?
Very transparent. It has to be. We're talking large sums of money here, large sums of taxpayers' money, and they have to be invested and spent in the right way to enable both schools to go forward in the best possible manner.
And just explain your role, Rob, as the CEO. Obviously, you're the final man in the with the neck on the block, I suppose.
I am, but it's a job that I thoroughly enjoy. They are two wonderful schools that are working at incredibly high standards with great staff in both of them. Under me, then, are the two head teachers, Mr. Sale, obviously, at Ermine Primary, and Mrs. Lamming at Lincoln Castle Academy. We work very closely together. My job is to be a critical friend. That means to analyse what they're doing all of the time, but also to be a support for them and an advisor, and to scrutinise really the standards and achievements and the financial situations of both schools.
And making sure that's very stable. It's stability you're looking for.
It is for stability. It is for looking to ensure that children are happy, students are happy, that they're well cared for, and that their standards of achievement are well above the national average.
Obvious. And so the metrics you talked about earlier, we discussed this, and you said your metrics, the most important ones, are obviously to maintain the standards and continue to improve the education of the children throughout. But you measure all sorts of things. Yeah,
we do. We measure standards of achievement, standards of attainment, the progress of the children, the performance of the teachers, the performance of the staff as a whole. All organisations are accountable. All organisations have targets, and we have to achieve those, and we want to achieve them. And 9 times out of 10, we do achieve them with the very best results that we can get.
Fabulous. So just to close then, what's the future for the Lincoln Academy?
The future is two good start schools as far as Ofsted are concerned at this moment in time, working their way and in the future becoming outstanding schools under great leadership teams and great staff and with great students. Schools that parents feel very proud of, and maybe in the future, you never know, the trust becoming more than 2 schools and venturing in a different direction to enable education to expand in the area.
But yeah, focus at the moment is the stability of the 2 schools, financially stable and pushing the standards
Without
forward.
a doubt, our focus is ensuring that those 2 good schools achieve outstanding levels, which I'm sure they will do in the future.
And I think the thing I've always thought about the 2 schools is how the community is fully part of the school environment, isn't it? You really are part of the community.
Absolutely, both geographically, if you look where the schools are located, they're right in the middle of the communities. Then if you think of it in the way that people come into them, just the relationship with the community, it's just both schools are focal points of which we're very proud, that the parents and the community want to get involved in all the activities that the young people are involved in.
Yeah, and we've seen that over the 8 months we've been doing the digital strategy for the schools, or for the school, the Ermine Primary. It's definitely that the social element and the way the parents engage with the school has gone up, and there's definitely a pride, I think, now in what they do, and that's really nice to see.
And without a doubt, and it's a pride that is warranted, isn't it? Because if I would say to any parent, come into the school, talk with the staff, see the school in action, help and support your children as well with their reading and with their homework, and get involved in all the activities that happen within the school.
Fabulous. Well, thank you for your time today, Rob. It's a really good insight into that transition and now how you're operating on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. It's been great chatting to you.
Thank you very much.